Lucas Santtana from Salvador, Bahia, Brazil. And I had a meeting with the music when I was 12 years old, and this changed completely my life. And I understood that I had a mission, and I would dedicate all my life to the music, and it's what I do. Let's do it. Ele beija ela, ela beija ele. Ele beija ela, ela beija ele. Ele beija ela, ela beija ele. Mas se rolar um clima, ele beija ele, ela beija ela. Para eles o amor é livre. Ela não é gay, ele não é viado e não são mais classificados. Não somos mais classificados. Não somos mais classificados. Ele beija ela, ela beija ele. Bram bam bam, bam bim 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 bam. Ele beija ela, ela beija ele. Bram bam bam, bam bim 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 bam. Ele beija ela, ela beija ele. Mas se rolar um clima, ele beija ele, ela beija ela. Para eles o amor é livre. Ela não é gay, ele não é viado e não são mais classificados. Não somos mais classificados. Não somos mais classificados. É play som, é déjà vu. Lucas Santtana agradece, merci beaucoup. Ela não é piriguete, não fica de frete. Não é marionete, não fica de frete. Tem que ter a mão na manha, tem que ter a mão na mão. Se não for a mão na manha, se não for apanha. Não somos mais classificados. Play som, play som, play som. Aperta o rec, amassa pagodão que gruda mais que gi. Então escute bi, hoje não tem cani. É serpentine com. É serpentine com. É serpentine com. É play som, play som. Não somos mais classificados. Play som. Ela não é gay, ele não é viado e não são mais classificados. Brasil, patriota, só na hora do gol. Brasil, patriota, só na hora do show. Mas quando a lama avança, a pátria não é tão gentil. O Supremo rasga a carta, clava a mata no covil. Que a natureza se rebele, selvagem, cubra a terra, tome tudo de volta e sobre só as plantas. E o canto dos pássaros e sobre só a seiva. E o canto dos pássaros e sobre só o orvalho. E o canto dos pássaros e sobre só o pólen. E o leito dos rios. Brasil, patriota, só na hora do gol. Brasil, patriota, só na hora do show. Mas quando a fome no mapa é longe de onde se come aqui, o herói cobrado cala, o berço finge que não viu. Que a natureza se rebele, selvagem, cubra a terra, tome tudo de volta e sobre só as plantas. e o canto dos pássaros, e sobre só a seiva. E o canto dos pássaros, e sobre só o orvalho. E o canto dos pássaros, e sobre só o pólen. E o leito dos rios. Em todo ser vive a serpente, semente cósmica fecundou. Terras e povos até o ocidente. Resiste o DNA na sua natureza, na sua natureza. Resiste o DNA, resiste o DNA, resiste o DNA na sua natureza. Brasil. Obrigado. Thank you.
What are the names of the songs you just played, and what are they about?
The last one is Brasil Patriota. It's from the last album. O Céu é Velho há Muito Tempo. And you talk. I used some parts of the lyrics of the national anthem, Brazilian national anthem, but changed the meaning. And also there is an image that talks about a revenge from the nature, take the planet for them and put us out, because we are not doing good things here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And the first one?
The first one called Funk dos Bromânticos. Bromânticos is in English is bromantic. It's two words, brother and romantic, and it's a new. It's from the Urban Dictionary. Means a new kind of love. A new kind of relationship based on feelings, not like a boyfriend or married or something like that, and not just between a man and a woman. So the song talk about free love from the new generations, that it's binary, it's the way to like another people, it's free. It's not like in the past, just a man and a woman. Could be a man and a man, a woman, trans and a cis, etc. It's a song to this generation. It's about free love. Mm-hmm. I'm together.
Mm-hmm. And who are some of your musical heroes in Brazil?
Oh, now the number one called Ailton Krenak. It's an activist and an indigenous leader that wrote a small but strong book called The Idea to Retard. How say that in English? An idea to retard the end of the world. So he talks about the way that the Occidental staff chooses to live, and how it's there's a lot of shit in this way. So he is trying to show us the indigenous way and the values of that.
Mm-hmm. So say his name again.
Ailton Krenak.
What was it like growing up in Salvador? Salvador has such a strong force in everyone in the world who appreciates Brazil, African culture around the world, and so on. But what was it like growing up in Salvador for you?
Wow, it's a luck for me because Salvador is it's a unique city in the world for sure. It's the most black population out of Africa, like 80% of the population in my city is black people, so it's super luck. And I remember that when I was a teenager, I was sad because I was not black. I'm white, and because the culture in my city comes from the black community, and is so strong on the streets, and for me it was so important in my musical formation, and also in the university in the 60s it was a movement. The administration of the university invited a lot of European teachers to teach in Salvador in the university, and in the University of Music came guys that studied with Kohoita in the mentality. It's experimental music. It's experiment things with the music. So I had when I was a teenager, I had a black culture from the streets and experimental music from the university. So for me, it was a blast. And because the black heritage, the food in Salvador is unique. The clothes, the culture it's unique. Just happened there, so I'm lucky, born there. Yeah, I'm solo on stage because my last album it's just acoustic guitar and voice. It's a old tradition in Brazilian music, and but there's a guy on the sound desk putting effects in my acoustic guitar, electric guitar, voice. So there's a little bit of sound design, but basically the songs from the last album, and it's an album that I composed after the last election in Brazil, when Brazilians elect a fascist president. And I look around and all my friends were so sad, and me also. So I start to compose these songs to embrace them and encourage them, because we knew that we have a dark period in Brazil.
You have a beautiful guitar right now, well worn. It says this machine heals fascists. Tell me about that.
I love Bob Dylan, like everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And from Bob Dylan, I discovered the folk singer called Jesus Are You.
What do you got through?
Yeah, and I saw in his guitar this machine kills faces. I was like, wow, this is so nice. And I think, oh, you put in my guitar also, because in this moment in Brazil it's necessary.
Yeah.
But I think but if I kill a guy, I'm a fast also. So let's change the verb. And because I'm connected to the shamanism also from the Indigenous, and heroes is a word really present in the shamanism. So I changed it to heroes.
Perfect. That's an interesting thing, because I'm working on a new project right now called Sama, Seattle Sacred Music, and we're looking at the way indigenous cultures have lived in the world for since we were, started being humans, and what we can learn from them right now, because we live in a very complicated time.
Yeah.
Like we got here in a day. That's amazing and all that. Tell me about this. How are you working with indigenous cultures, indigenous in Brazil, which is very, that's a living culture.
Yeah. During the pandemic, I made the soundtrack of a web documentary series by Ailton Krenak. It's a really important indigenous and activist in Brazil. And he and Ana Dantes from the Dantes publishing, they created this project called Flecha Arrow. So there's 3 flechas arrows in the YouTube. Everybody can could search and see, and coming from a meeting like WOMEX, there's happened the last 2 years before COVID in Rio de Janeiro, called Selvagem, studies about life, and it's so nice because put together indigenous knowledge and with biologists, anthropologists, sociologists, etc. So it's a method to change the knowledge from the west side and from the indigenous side, and so it was really nice work in this project.
Okay.
And I went many times in shamanism ceremonies in Rio and São Paulo. I take ayahuasca with indigenous masters, pajés. So I try to be close to this culture, to study, to know about his knowledge.
Okay.
That it's so old.
It's changed you?
Yeah, a lot.
How?
A lot. First, for example, I was living in the city of São Paulo, and I moved to a countryside 2 hours from São Paulo, in a place that just have 20 houses and in the nature around, a lot of trees and birds and night waterfalls. So I'm more connected to the nature and understand that, because I think that the Occidental stuff after the Illuminism think the nature as something apart. So we are here is the civilization, and you need to go to the forest to see the nature. But in fact, the nature is inside of us, because we are made by nitrogen, oxygen, carbon, water, everything that is in the nature. So we are the nature. We are not a part of that. So and also they teach me to use rapé. It's dust.
Dust. Okay.
Yeah. It's made by plants and tobacco, and it's really nice to restart yourself and to put you really present with yourself and if the things around. So after take rapé, I can. This is more present. This is more present. Everything is more present.
You're aware.
Yeah. So a lot of things. No.
This seems like a popular thing that could be.
Yeah.
That more people could use right now.
And it's so important because now with the gadgets, the digital life, we are all the time in front
disconnected.
Yeah. So it's nice to connect with yourself. And focus. It's really nice.
It helps with creativity?
Yeah, it's good also because you focus in you and things that you are doing, so you close to the thing that's not so important around. So it's good also to compose.
2 questions.
Okay.
One is, you've been playing music for a long time.
Yes, since I was 12 years old, I started to play German flute, and then I changed to transversal flute,
and so I started to play in young orchestra in Bahia, classical music, just classical music. And then I stopped classical music and I start to play popular music.
When was the moment? Because we all start, you know. I want to play. When was it? When it was like, this is the thing.
When I was 19, 20 years old, because I love classical music. I listen every day. I love, but to play classical music is too serious. You need to play perfect. It's something that when you play, I hadn't pleasure to play. It's like, I need to play really nice. And when I start to play popular music, I feel, wow, this is nice, because I really enjoy the sounds, the music. So when I was 20 years old, I said, no, I stop classical music. I start to play. And I play a long time with Gilberto Gil in his blend, flute and saxophone. And then I needed to start my stuff, my ideas, etc.
Stuff was coming up.
Yeah.
Okay. Second question.
Okay.
We're in the States, and we've had a difficult 6 years. You know, we had a presidency and COVID. Brazil, similar situation.
Yeah.
Difficult. You were talking about this before. It was like there was election. Your friends were sad, but there were people in Brazil that weren't sad. They elected somebody. Same in my country. We elected somebody.
Yeah.
Why do you think they elected who they elected?
In Brazil, there's a book from a journalist called Patricia Melo, and she proved that was a lot of companies
Influence?
did money to the Bolsonaro, and they send a WhatsApp message, a massive WhatsApp message during the elections, and this is proved, and for sure it was determined to Bolsonaro elections. But the judiciary in Brazil, it's it's not so serious, because by the law, the last election in Brazil, it was it was a lie. It was outside of the law.
Okay.
But I think that the media in Brazil, the big media in Brazil, the big companies are from the right wing also during the history of Brazil. And there was a massive campaign against Works Party and against Lula.
Okay.
For example, Lula, it was to the jail, but there is no proofs. So it's strange, It's a movement with judiciary and media to change things, but not by the law, but no, by the democracy.
Has this changed you? Are you a political artist now? Or is everybody a political artist in Brazil?
Como?
Are you a political?
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, I'm political all the time, because my family, it's the political stuff, it's so important, so
What do you want to see happen? Like, let's say, Lula come back, or what would you see? What would you like to see?
For sure, for me, Lula, you come back.
But isn't that it's kind of like, that's the past. Isn't there time for somebody to come in and...
Yeah, I would like that appear a new leader from left wing. But the fact is, now Lula is live, and Lula, for me, it's one of the 10 most important leaders in the world in the 20th and 21st century. You know, he's was. This is not my opinion. This is the history. He was the first and only president in Brazil that make things to the poor people in Brazil. The only one, you know. So if this guy is live and his power, what not again?
All right, I can see that.
Yeah, but for me, the problem with Lula will be that he will need to do alliance with the same guys that destroy his government in the past. This is the big challenge for him now.
So it's interesting because you play a particular type of music that not many people speak Portuguese, but just about everybody I know loves Brazilian music and looks to Brazilian music. Yeah. So you have an interesting role where this music, just as it did in the past with Gilberto Gil and Caetano Veloso, could be a beacon of hope, and because you love the music, and the music somehow just opens up people's hearts. You know, it's interesting. Everywhere you go in the world, there's something going on. So it's an interesting place for you as somebody playing here, playing Brazilian music, and yet having these experiences. It's an interesting mix where you could then share this music in the world. There are a lot of artists here that don't have the kind of power or the kind of influence that Brazilian music has. We're literally, I travel all over the world. There's Brazilian music all over the world. There's, you know, Korean music isn't all over the world. Malayan music, it's Brazilian music is all over the world.
For us, artists from Brazil, we have a conscience that we are a kind of ambassador. So, and now, particularly now with Bolsonaro, our presence around the world is very important to bring the message.
You're countering.
Yeah, and because in countries like France, for example, the extreme droite, the extreme right wing, it's strong and it's trying to get the power.
Yeah,
and it's a country that there's a long tradition of social security for people, but now you have internet, now you have fake news. It's an industry. Fake news is an industry.
Yeah,
that it's a lot of money involved. It's not just lies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is it's hard to fight against these invisible people.
But music is also powerful and invisible
sure.
all at the same time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.